Doctor Who is bad now. That's something that gets said by a lot of people about RTD2. I like RTD2. I really do. And you know why I like RTD2? Because it's not boring. Now, a lot of people like to go at the writing. They go out, they say this story wasn't written well, this didn't wrap up nicely, and this was teased too much and led to nothing. And while I agree, Ruby's mum, why was that? And if it was that, why did it get teased like that? I do agree. There were a lot of mistakes that happened in this era. But it was a lot of fun. You know, people, like I said, they like to go in at the writing and focus on the negative things. But if you just look at the reality war, which is just a big example of the fandom being split, 50%, not 50-50, but let's say 30% think it's decent. Then like 60% think it's the worst thing they've ever seen in their life. And then 10% think it's just fun. And it's just funny and exciting. I love that episode. Because of the vibes. If you look at it from a writing perspective, yeah, it's crap. It shatters, it falls apart, it follows basically none of the structures that you're taught when you learn to write. But scrap that. It's Shooty Gatwa's last episode, and he flies around London on a Segway under the bridges and over through the skyscrapers. And that's just good. That's just fun. Now, I think part of the reason why I didn't like the Chibnall era as much, which was the Jodie Whittaker stuff, was because they bored me. I couldn't name you what happens in a lot of those stories because a lot of them left me checking my watch. I don't even wear a watch, but they left me checking how long was left because I was bored. It wasn't interesting stuff that was happening. It was the same old, something's wrong, they come up with a plan, and they use that plan to get what they want again. Whereas with something like Moffat or RTD2, which is the best example for me, there's always a fun way of getting something. It's never just they have a plan. It's they have a plan, that plan fails, so they're forced to use something else to get what they want. And that to me is just, it's sometimes it's clever, sometimes it got me, I didn't see things coming. Like, for example, in the Robot Revolution, when you find out that the AI generator isn't AI, it's Al. That, to me, was such a great reveal because I had no idea that was coming. A lot of people are like, it was so obvious, I saw it coming. And fair enough if you did, but I didn't. And that's why I love it so much. I think this whole era has been great for vibes. I don't know. I think Shooty was a big part of that. I think Shooty brought something to the table that no other Doctor had brought before. And I think that's why a lot of people didn't like him because he was different. As Jodie, as much as, you know, Jodie... we all have our issues with Jodie. She did very much feel like a Doctor of the 2000s, whereas Shooty feels like a very modern Doctor. And that's what they were going for. And a lot of people like to moan about Doctor Who and say that it feels like the same old stuff being recycled, but when they try and change something, e.g. having a now gay black Doctor, or gay black actor play the Doctor, everyone goes, oh, I miss David Tennant. Then they bring David Tennant back and they're like, oh, you're stuck in the past, you have to rely on David Tennant. So no one's ever happy. So I like to be positive, and I think the positiveness of RTD2 is just how fun it is. The people who dislike the reality war, I think, are people who don't get stimulated by something happening. They need the good writing to stimulate them into being like, this is a good story. Whereas... for me and for a lot of other people, there's just loads of stuff going on. It tackles our ADHD brain and we're like, yeah, this is good. I love this episode. So that's why I like it. Although in saying that, my favourite episode of the entire Jodie era is the Battle of Ranskoor Rav Kolos. So maybe I'm a hypocrite because that is deemed as one of the worst, most boring episodes ever. I like it. But there you go. Please leave a comment. Let me know. Do you think the writing is everything, or do you think the vibes play a massive part in that as well? Because for me, if the writing's bad but the vibes are there, I like the episode. Interstellar Song Contest is a great edition of that. You know, I had no idea when I was watching it that it was about this war. I just thought this is good vibes. It's Eurovision, so I liked it. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like. There's a button near the comments that says hype. If you could press that, it'd mean the absolute world. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.